Some things I'm saying something in the Twitch chat right now that I should have talked about earlier, that I will now talk about right now, is probably a pretty something. If you're if you're following along, I apologize if you've been having some troubles with this. But so there's something happening. You can see here. There's all this like grainy stuff on the models. This is called ambient occlusion. It is it's used to. It basically makes shadows look a lot better. It gives depth and dimension to models. But it also lags the it lags things. It lags the program very bad. Zach Zon Gaming, thank you for subscribing. That makes me very happy. If you guys, and he used a Prime sub. If you guys have Amazon Prime and you link it to your Twitch account, you can subscribe to my thing for free using Twitch Prime. And I believe if my extensions work right now, you can just kind of put your mouse over the screen and see if you have a sub available yet or not. If you have Twitch Prime activated, it really helps me out. It helps me get more sweet emoticons to give to you guys. Currently, I need 100 sub points to do that, and I have 71, so, I need more. So if you have sub money and you want to help me out to get more emotes, and you want emotes like a cool Macho Man Randy Savage one, then subscribe here. Okay, I'm done chilling. Let me actually tell you what the fuck I'm supposed to do instead of trying to get your money. I appreciate your patronage to me. Right-click the viewport. Hit render settings. Here you can see ambient occlusion. If you uncheck it, it will remove the ambient occlusion, and the game should move, or the whole thing should move very good. It should run a lot easier for you. I'm sorry I didn't bring it up earlier. I am dumb. Please come to my house and pants me. Because I'm a big nerd and I deserve to be fucking put inside of a locker. As big nerds do. To make sure that you guys can actually, get it, I'm going to just do this with an FK rig. Or pose it with just an FK rig. But you can see that, sometimes FK rigs aren't very easy to, because I move it down, it doesn't squat. So you kind of have to move all the legs the way you want, but I can do it. So let's pose heavy. How do we want to pose heavy? I guess, well, we got stanky leg. Ladies and gentlemen, we got stanky leg. Right. Okay. So. Okay. What kind of pose should we make heavy do? I guess you can just kind of make them I don't know. I mean, I explained how I'm doing all of this, right? So I don't have to go over what I'm doing to make all this happen, right? I am clicking on the bones. I'm holding control, clicking on the bones, and then rotating them. I'm going to get kind of lazy with this because I'm just kind of doing. Toe bones as well, you are kind of you can kind of just move them like this. If you move them any other way, they can get kind of weird. Sometimes you'll want to slightly move them to the side. In this case, if someone's saying on their tippy toe, sometimes you want to curve it a bit. It's a bit cartoony. You can do it. Everything in here is a cartoon. They're fine. So then let's curve Heavy's bones like this. We're gonna turn him this way towards the camera. Make him look up like this. Use the camera, and then starting with the colors, we're gonna angle his arms. Usually when I'm working with joints, I will only use the axis controls, specifically the ones on the joint, just so that I don't make the arms go all weird. Let's talk about fingers. Fingers is a bitch! Fuck fingers! But the reason I am so mad at fingers, as you might be wondering, is if you select fingers and you try and move them, it's not doing it here. Why are you trying to make me look like a jackass? Okay, so maybe it's doing this on your computer. Maybe. Wait, no. Hold on. Wait, stop. Hold on. Shut up. Wait, I got this. Hold on. Now I remember why. It's because I only do things in rigs. Okay, look. If I put on the rig, or biped simple, and I try and move a finger. Okay, well, first off, in order to get the bones to show up, it turns off the show for bones with the script. That's just in the script. It says, don't show bones. I don't want to see bones. But I do want to see bones. So I'm going to activate the see bones trigger using the toggle selectability thing right here. Right here, these arrows that you can see right here, now that I've moved it. I'm sorry, I forgot you couldn't see it. So now I'm going to select one of these bones, the thumb. Shit. What the fuck is happening here? What? Huh? Why is this so slow? So these are still BIP bones. They are not rigged like the rest of the body. There are some rigs in which you can get them to be rigged like the hands. Like how moving the hand will move the rest of the thing. I don't like that. So these are just bones, and they're still connected to the model, not controlled by the rig. So it basically is taking time to say, well, throughout all of this time, I am moving everything, and also not having this effect. It's trying to translate between the skeleton and the rig in a way that isn't that it's not clear to the program, so it lags it a bit. To avoid this, what I do is, if it's a poster, I will go one frame forward in the timeline by pushing right, and I will push O, and this will delete everything ahead of the playhead. This shortens, because it's just, a poster is just one frame, so you don't need the rest of the 60 seconds that are in this. You just need one frame. So now, when I try and move the finger, hey, no lag. No lag, we're totally fine. He can touch. His typist career is saved. Good job, Heavy. But again, I said I was gonna do this with the FK rig, so we're gonna detach the rig. Okay, hold on. Okay. Now, let's pose his hands, and let's pose these fingers. Usually I start with the pinky, and I use the rotate tool because these are all joints. Your fingers are all joints. We're going to use this rolling tool. For the first joint, I usually use freeform, but then for the rest of the joints, I use the rolling thing because I can only move in one direction. But your other finger, the first joint of your fingers can move around, so... And usually when you're making a fist, you have to, like, move your fingers in, so... Yeah. So we're going to curve these in to tighten it. Use this and bring it here, curve it a bit. When a fist is made, each finger is just a bit higher than the last one. It's not like a perfect square. So we want his fist to be ramping up to the thumb, index, whatever. This is a cool werewolf song, by the way. Anyway, you are now seeing the tedium of posing fingers. Imagine if you had a very complex scene to animate, and it required you to pose fingers multiple times. That sucks. So then we're on the thumb. The thumb can be a bit tricky because it's not on the same axis as the rest of the fingers. But it's pretty much follows the same ideal. First joint can be moved freely, the rest move with the axis control. So yeah, now we have a fist. And I guess we can have the other hand. We're gonna do the same thing. We can have him like, wait, we can like, we're gonna have him like, what if you want to make an animation? Do you just have to deal with slow fingers? For making an animation, you can sometimes like guess how long the animation is going to be and then cut it there. Like for instance, if your animation is going to be really short and you want it to be 10 seconds, you can still cut down on that lag by cutting it here. Around 30 seconds is where it starts like getting that lag back, but it won't be as bad if you cut there. And you can increase the timeline if you need more time at any point. You can, when you go to a clip, this is a clip right here, you go here and then you click and drag and that'll extend the time in the clip. I guess while I'm talking, I'll go over that later when I start getting into in the next episode, I guess, when I start talking about animation. But let's curve Heavy's fingers in like this. Just like this. Oh yeah. I grabbed the wrong finger. Hold on, Heavy. Where you going, buddy? Would you hold on, slow down there. Hold on, slow down there now. Hold on. Oh, Heavy. Are you upset? Did somebody upset you? Who upset you, Heavy? Maybe this is a poster of Heavy being upset at somebody. Whatever you want. Oh, I'm in the graph editor. This is different. This is for animation. Don't. You don't have to be in here yet. This is. It's all the same. It's still gonna be here, but we'll get to that later. I now understand why toy animations take so long. It must be hell on the animator. Yeah. Now let's talk about faces. Faces are not bones. Some faces are bones, but in this case it is not. Faces with hardware morph, with most hardware morph models is controlled with sliders. For example, the eyes. The nose. The cheeks. The jaw. The lips. The lips. The lips. The lips. The lips. The lips. Greetings. It is I, half-eaten weapons man. I have come from my home planet to teach you the true meaning of love. Join me, won't you? In my bed, where I will show you my penis. Sorry, like I said, you get... Anyway, do we get some tongue accent for you, my friend? Anything. We gotta open up the pod bay doors, Hal. Oh. 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 I cannot be distracted by my own fucking students. Please.
The cream of the crop!
Please! I'm trying to teach the next generation! Anyway. So, when I do things, I'm showing you how I do things. You can develop your own style. It's not, you don't have to do exactly like me. As you use the program, you'll develop how you want to use it, whatever's comfortable for you. That is correct. Whatever is most comfortable for you, totally fine. That's what you should do. Anyhow, faces are controlled. As you can see here, there is like a control here. This is the local view factor. The local view target. You can see that Heavy is looking to the left, and that's where the target is. If we drag it around, Heavy will also look at it. Right now, Heavy's eyes are locked to look directly at the target. If we move his eyes at all, they will also move in conjunction with... Like, basically, I'm saying is, the program is saying by turning this all the way over here...
I'm living a nightmare, and I am the cream.
I didn't turn off resub sounds. That's cool. Thanks for... thank you. Good. I did... great. Thank you. What it's saying right now is... It will look all the way to the left as it's going to, like, I'm basically telling it, look all the way to the left. Your view is now controlled to, is now just going to be all the way to the left. I am adding this amount of left to also looking at the target. If that makes any sense. I don't know if I'm very good at this. Likewise, if I make him look down, he's going to look that amount of down and also at the target. If I move the target, it's going to move it as much as the controls are allowing it to. When you're doing animation or you're moving around a model, when you're doing an animation or moving around a model, this can get really annoying. Like, okay, don't do that. Like, you see, like, if you're doing animation, the character is supposed to be looking around, and wait, hold on. It works better if it's actually like in front of him. Okay, so if you're like moving the character around, he's gonna be looking in this direction, and then you have to correct it every single time you move his head. So instead of doing that, what you can do, maybe you like that, I don't. What you can do is you can slide up this target here. We're gonna make him look all the way up here, right? You can slide up local view target factor and slide all the way up. And when it's completely filled up, the Heavy's like view target factor is completely nullified. He will just look forward, and then you have full control over his view. No matter where you move it, he will always look forward. I like that. Maybe you don't. Maybe you want his eyes to completely lock onto something. That's something. That's good. Otherwise, you just do whatever. I don't know. Point is, if that's how you want to do it, you can do it. If you don't, let's move on with the goddamn lesson. Okay, so moving the face. Because Heavy is mad at somebody, let's make him angry. So first what you would think is you would go to frown, right? That will lower the brow. And then I guess this, a A lot of these aren't very, like, straightforward because they're not very, like, you know, common words. You have nose V, whatever that means. You have cheek V. You've got smile. That makes sense. You make a heavy smile. Looks a little wacky, though. You got dimple. You can tuck in his thing. Placimus is a word that I don't think anyone has ever heard in their entire life. But, I guess, let me explain what each of these do, then. So, like we said, we have eye up, down. Moves the eyes up and down. Eyes left and right. Moves the eyes left and right. Easy, right? Eye convergence will, change how close the eyes are to each other. If you want to make him cross-eyed, slide all the way to the right. If you want to make him slightly walled-eyed, slide to the left. Brow in changes how high and low the brow goes. V basically means in facial controls, or in most controls, up and down. Because it's kind of like an arrow. Brow out V changes the outer, like, brow. So, like, here, it's better if I get out, because the work camera's still on that thing, but brow out basically raises the out, like, the sides of his eyebrow that is further to the, like, sides of his head. Brow in will do the middle of his eyebrows, or his brow, right here, as opposed to here and here. Frown, like I said, drops down his brow. It can be combined, or it clenches his brow. So it can be combined. You can raise this up, and you can make him look really angry or determined. You can also make him look really angry like this, or you can make him look worried, like this. Frown basically means you are clenching the eyebrows together. Inner squint makes Heavy squint his eyes, or it just makes them all squint its eyes. From the, like, with the lids. Outer squint squints the muscles around his eyes. Scalp is weird. It's basically, if you want to move his ears and, like, kind of, like, sometimes you can, like, kind of, like, contort the skin in the back of your head or something, and sometimes you can, like, do stuff with the top part of your brow. That's what that does. Close lid, opens and closes the eyes. Multi-close lid changes how he closes his eyes. If his eyes are completely open, it does nothing. But to show the best effect of it, let's close his eyes completely. If you move it down, it makes the top lid overtake the eye more. If you do it up, it makes the bottom lid go more. Usually you want to choose a balance in between the two, so it doesn't look really, like, weird or cartoony. Like, here, it like, a lot of people I see will just, like, do this all the way, and it's like, oh, he's happy, this is happy eyes. Nobody blinks like this. Nobody blinks like this and it looks weird. Stop it. Don't do that. Fucking blink does nothing. Blink is a control that's supposed to be used for robots, for in-game models. It's basically how frequently the model is going to close its eyes and blink in the game, but it does nothing. Don't worry about blink. Nose V raises and lowers the nose. So if you want Heavy to sniff, he can sniff. If he, like, maybe you want to, like, if you're squinching his face, you can do this. If he's really mad, you can lower his nose a bit. And additionally, you can use nose flare to make his nostrils flare out, like this. A combination of nose V and nostril flare work very well together. Inversely, you can also shrink the nostrils, and then yeah. You know, cartoons. Cheek V raises the cheeks on the side. The temples, I think, the face boobs that you have under your eyes, it will raise and lower the face boobs. I am sorry to whoever I just gave a new fetish to. Anyway, cheek H is the sides of the cheeks, like the fatty part of the cheeks. It brings it in, and you can make Heavy look malnourished or out of breath. You can bring it out, make Heavy look fat. Jaw V raises and closes the jaw. Down, in order to open his mouth, you'll have to work with the lips, but for right now, it's just moving the jaw. When we raise it up, it just kind of like clenches the jaw, because you can't close it past close. Jaw D brings the jaw in and out. Jaw H moves it left and right. Lips V purses the lips. Gives kind of like a breathing motion. Or like a breathing thing. Inversely, it can also clench the lips. Making them look kind of like, good stuff. Lip up V moves the upper lip. Lip low V moves the bottom lip. Fold lip up folds the lip upwards, or backwards. The same with the other one. Pucker lips, pucker the lips. Obviously. Can you write it all down? I guess I could write up a guy. I don't know. This whole thing will be on YouTube, so you'll be able to go through it and look at it and all that stuff. But yeah. Puff lips up, puff the lips. Smile, adds a smile. Multi-smile changes how the smile happens. So if we do this and we move it down, it kind of like gives a more quaint smile, like, oh, hello everybody, it's me, your grandmama Heavy. How do you do? Down, it's more kind of like, instead of moving up, the smile is instead pulling the lips back. So instead, he's just kind of like, meh. Heavy weapons, man. Heavy weapons, man. Give me hungry. Me hungry. Hungry for worms. Feed me worms. Fucking, Placimus. Placimus is more like frowning. That's a bit more extreme. It can get a bit more extreme like that. It's like, it's kind of like the multi-smile option, but only going down. Yeah. Lip contortion twist. That's more of like a lesser frown. It kind of just turns the corners of his fucking. It turns the corners of his mouth down. Dimple kind of like squinces the corners of the mouth in. And for the rest of this, I will have to open his mouth. These are tongue controls. Tongue V raises it up and down. Tongue D brings it out and in. Tongue H moves it left and right. Tongue curl curls the tongue up and down. Those are the basic hardware morph flexes. Why is his mouth still open? Okay, so why haven't you given your own class in college? You're doing great. Because I am not an accredited professor, nor do I know any like skill other than this. Anyway, so effective face posing requires you to not just do brow down, frown, and then Placimus. Now Heavy is mad. I mean, he is, but it's not. It's, we want to go a bit above and beyond. Not just, you know, basic. As you can see here, I mean, again, I'm not very comfortable with it, and I just kind of threw this out, but, this is an interesting pose. This is a pose that isn't just, like, Heavy just standing there with his hand out extended and his, middle finger up. For effective posing, you want to you want to curve things. Curves are interesting. Curves are interesting to look at. You want to look at things that are curved and not straight. You want to look at the gayest images you can. Bad joke. Let me start over. You want to curve the body, even if it's slightly. Like, you want to, like, add a little bit of sass to, like, let's say there's a businesswoman standing, and she's like, yeah, you can't fuck with this. You want to give her a little bit of sass. You want to put the hips out of the bit to the left. You want to put her hands on her hips. Maybe one down, one up. Give her, like, make her, like, neck move a little bit to the left, and head tilt to the right, and then bam. Now you've got an interesting pose as opposed to her just standing there. You want to, you know, go a bit up and beyond with their posing. And I can show you a more casual pose with when we add another character. And the same is and that goes for the same with face posing. When you pose someone's face, you want to kind of employ. This isn't Monster Factory, so unless you are trying to make something look horrifying, you don't. A lot of times you don't need to use like slide things all the way up. A lot of times, actually, if you want to set a face completely back to the way it was, you can click on the slider up here, default. And it will set everything back. But what we're gonna do is we're going to take everything a bit, like, we're gonna go down and then up and adjusting slightly. So we're going to make his eyes look down. We're going to make it look a little bit to the right. Maybe bring him in a bit so you can see that it's focusing. Convergence doesn't have to just be, I'm a dumb, or, what is happened? Sometimes, you want to make them a bit more wall-eyed to show that they're not focusing on something, or you want to bring it in to show that they are, like, narrowing their focus onto a certain thing. A lot of times I don't even, like, bring the brow down. I kind of just, like, keep it around the normal, and I bring the brow up, or the outer brow up, and then frown it. And then I employ a bit of outer squint. The nose up. Cheek. Clench the jaw to show anger. Bring the lips up a bit. Lips down a bit. Fold the lips in to make the teeth. When you're mad, you fold your lips in, and then you bring them up. So actually, we could also employ a bit of lips V. No pucker lips. No puffed lips. Now, here's something you wouldn't expect. I'm actually going to apply smile. Even though we want him to be mad. And then we're going to contort the lips down a bit and add placimus. A lot of times when you're working with heavy, smile and placimus, you have to, like, work together, because to get those faces where he's, like, really happy, but where he's really happy or not, because if you don't employ a little bit of both, you kind of end up with those wacky, goofy faces that don't really. That's more of the Gmod heavy, the one that everybody's kind of, like, fabricated because he doesn't speak he doesn't speak English as a first language, and sometimes talks in, like, first person or whatever. But anyway, we're gonna move the jaw up a bit. Let's flare the nostrils. No dimple. We're gonna move the multi-smile down to add to this, and now I'm going to show you how to move just one side of the face as opposed to, you know, both. You see the slider up here changes. It has an element R, and that should be pretty obvious that this is what controls. This is how you control which side of the face you're working on. If you put it to the right, for most of the controls, you will move just the right part up and down. Same with the left. You can move that. It works for fold lips, the lips. It can work for the smile. Some things it won't work for is the jaw, because you can't split a jaw in half. That's not how it works. It does not work for looking left and right. Unfortunately, you can't make one eye go in one direction, the other one go in the other one, but you can do it for the brow. And if you put it more in the middle, the closer it is to here, or to one side, the more it will do. Like, you can change, if you want to move both of them, but you want to move one more, you can move this one, like, further to the left or further to the right, but not all the way. If you move it all the way, like here, it will move only the right. One step back, it will move mostly the right, normally, and then just a little bit of the left. And then so on and so forth as you move it up and down. You can also use your scroll wheel to move it if you don't want to slider it. But you want to keep it in the middle most of the time so that you don't just end up moving the, yeah. So yeah, we have posed heavy. Cool. Oh, God. Oh, Christ. Alright. Okay. No, I'm good. Don't worry about Tetcher. Okay. So, let's talk about other models. Now, I've shown you that you have all the Team Fortress 2 models. You've got, well, you have most of them. At this point, if you just opened up the SFM today, you only have, like, what it comes with. Which is I think right now it only comes with as many TF2 assets at up to, I want to say, like, sometime 2 years ago. I don't know. But it doesn't have all of them. And I can show you next time how to import models, the newer models from Team Fortress 2 into Source Filmmaker. How much have I had to drink? Nothing. Not at all. With your teaching, I managed to post a scout poking a sad sitting heavy. I'm doing it! Doing it up! Hell yeah! Alright, so, let's talk about adding models like, the Femme Scout. Wow, popular character Femme Scout. She's got the boobies. She's like Scout, but she has the boobies. Wow, where'd you get that? Where'd you get the boobies from? Krunkidile? Well, I'm gonna fucking show you how to fucking get some new models. Here's how to order. We're gonna. Oh, I had this. I had this all set up. The places you can get new models is, well, the easiest place to get it is the Source Filmmaker Workshop. It has a ton of it has like, I don't know when it was that it first started, but it has like years and years of just shit. 278 pages. Let's see. What was the oldest model that was uploaded here, just for shits and giggles? Hold on, give me a sec. Give it a sec. I am streaming, so this is taking some time, so just give it a minute. Stop trying to follow along after fingers my match to make heavy give a thumbs up. Cool! You learned something, and I'm proud of you. Fucking... God, okay, never mind. Fuck, we're not gonna look how far it went. Let's find, I don't know. We could find Femme Scout here, but yeah. So anyway, looking through all of this, it's very easy. If you've used, the Steam workshops at all, you already know how to get these, but, basically in order to download them, you have to subscribe to them. Let's say for, you basically just click on this, this plus here, and when you do, it will bring up a pop-up that says, hey, you wanted to download this model. are you ready to download it now? You will click OK. We'll download it. If anything is like, if there are any file conflicts, it will say, hey, there are 2 things that are named this exact same thing. You can just pretty much say yes to all for all of them and just replace it. It doesn't really do anything. A lot of them aren't really important. Sometimes they cause issues, but you'll see it later. But yeah, you basically subscribe to the model, and then you can look it up, and you will have it. Also, other places you can look if you don't find what you're looking for on the workshop. You can also look on the Source Filmmaker DeviantArt page. You go to sourcefilmmaker.deviantart.com, and they have a ton of assets here. A lot of them are on the Source Filmmaker workshop, but others are not. Some of them are, yeah, this is basically where, like, people, you can follow people who make assets and, like, you can follow people who, like, make assets. Like, I haven't seen this Atari 2600 at all anywhere. Yeah, you can follow all these people, get to know what they're working on, see what they're doing, maybe support them when they come out with something, you know, all that good stuff. If you're looking for maps, TF2 Maps is a pretty good place to look. However, one thing that you will have to make sure is that these models have high dynamic range. SFM will only work properly with models that have high dynamic range or HDR. If it does not have those things, then it will mess up how everything looks in the map, and it does not look good. All the colors will be washed out and it'll look really gross. But for the most part, you should be able to take the files and put them into your Source Filmmaker and use them pretty easily. Another place, Max of S2D's site. You probably know him. He does lots of he does Dota stuff now, but he has done a lot of things that, you know, he's done stuff. If you check here, models, you can see a bunch of them. He was one of the people who helped make the Fem Scout model. He made this one. He made like a massless spy. He has the old Scout mom, a muscle-bound pyro. He's got Dota stuff here. Yeah, there's lots of stuff in his website that you can just kind of poke around and look in. If you're looking for horses, you got this place. And even if you're not looking for horses, sometimes there's just fucking cool shit. Like this is just a big old cathedral that just happens to be. Wait, hold on. Is this the motherfucking Baltimore? This site just has a Baltimore Convention Center. Like, that has nothing to do with horses, and yet here we are. The motherfucking Baltimore Convention Center. Like, this site is amazing. Like, don't put it down. If you're like, oh, horses, fucking ew. Doesn't matter. It's cool. Don't worry about it, dog. They've got more shit. Like, even, like, there's a guitar here you could probably use. There's a shield. I don't know. Fucking, just look. It probably has assets that you want. I've used tons of assets from this place for other things other than horses. And, lastly, there is SFM Lab. SFM Lab has lots of models that aren't not just models, but also models and assets that aren't available on the Source Filmmaker Workshop, including, but not limited to, models with the boobies, models that don't got no clothes on, models with big old ding dang hibbity hobs, models that got no penis. For the most part, like, if you don't sign in, and you can set it up so you don't see the NSFW stuff, but if you are interested in that, I'm not gonna judge you. Chase your bliss, do what you wanna. Hey, don't worry about it. It's all good, homie. It's all good in the hood. You will have to sign in and set it so you can see them. I obviously cannot show you the NSFW content that is on this site, but you know, take a look. It has lots of cool stuff on it. Anyway, so to show you how to, let's, what should we do? Transformers Devastation, Shattered Optimus Prime, Fixed Textures. No. Iron Spider-Man. Okay. So, you can click on the thing here and it'll give you more information. You know, it's got all this stuff, things you can comment on, all that stuff. You can also subscribe to it here. You will, in order to download the model, you will click on subscribe. Now, when we go back to Source Filmmaker, this pop-up comes up. This is the model that we wanted. If you see some that you don't want yet, you can uncheck the thing. Every time you log into Source Filmmaker or start it up, when you start a session, it will bring this up, telling you whether something is you subscribed to something while it was when you weren't in Source Filmmaker, if something is updated, or if a model has been removed from the workshop, or you have removed it from the workshop. And by clicking OK, you were basically telling it, okay, add this stuff. Okay, remove this stuff. Whatever. So we're going to click OK. And we're going to wait for a bit. And see, there's a conflict here. Models, and it doesn't fucking matter. I don't read this because I'm bad at my job. I just click yes to all like a goober. And you click OK. Now let's find Spider-Man. To find what your model is called, because you can't just look up Spider. So a lot of times you can't just look up. You can't just go to it and be like, "Dear SFM, give me this Spider-Man. He is my favorite. Next to Rocket Raccoon. He says funny words and is mean to his friends. Love, Derek." You can't just say that because SFM doesn't know what the fuck you're talking about. You have to find the actual file name for the model. So I mean, I guess if we looked up Spider-Man, nope, didn't find it. Spider, I don't know what to look up. You can go to the workshop and you can see here the file is called kryptonite/inf Spider-Man/inf Spider-Man.mdl. So I mean, wait a minute, didn't we just Spider-Man? Huh? No Spider-Man. I wonder why. When you add new things to when you look up models in Source Filmmaker, it takes from your directory the instance that starts up. If you add new things to it, it will not be able to find it until you hit rescan. Now it's going to rescan, as you can see here. And whoop. Hey, look! Tiger! 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 Wait. Oh. Anyway. Once again, clicking on the root thing and holding on shift, we can move him about the collisions in the world. We're going to make Spider-Man do a little bit more of a complex pose. Let's see. I think I can actually put a rig on him since I've already... Okay, well this is interesting. How rigs work is they look up bones that are of a certain name on the model, and then they basically can connect them based on how the script is told to put these things together. And you can see Heavy and Spider-Man have different named bones. but that might be okay. How many, let's see. How many spines does Spider-Man own? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many spines does Heavy own? 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. I think this might work. Let's go to Rig. Let's go to Rig. And go to Rig Simple. Hey, look at that. Spider-Man can be rigged with Biped Simple. Hooray! Alright, Mr. Stark! Mr. Stark, look! I'm a real boy! I'm real now, Mr. Stark! Mr. Stark! I did it! Whoa! Maybe this time Black Mary Jane will finally give me a kiss! Hooray! Hooray! I'm gonna do my happy dance now, Mr. Stark! If that's okay with you! I'm wasting time! Right, so, I'm definitely an adult. We're gonna turn Spider-Man like this. I'm gonna basically show you how to pose like I do. So now we have the rig. This is gonna go way faster because I don't have to, one, don't have to explain everything, and two, whatever. But as you can see, I can just slide these things around and not have to pose the entire fucking thing. I can just kind of move him all the way down, down. Put that not butt on the ground, and kind of like, wait. Now looking over at the camera, we can't see Spider-Man's beautiful face. So what we're gonna do is, see, I have him looking directly at Heavy, but for the sake of the camera, I'm actually going to turn him away, like this. So he's not really looking at Heavy right now, but that's okay because to the camera, it looks like he's looking at Heavy. Things don't have to be perfect in the universe. It just has to be perfect on the camera, or just good enough. You will kill yourself trying to achieve perfection. So just go for good enough. Good enough's good. One of my favorite things about using FK rigs is the inclusion of a hip. The hip allows you to do something that the FK rig can't do. You can move the butt area, the pelvic area around the model without moving the legs. You can also still move the spine and everything, and it won't change anything.
Unjustifiably in a position that I'd rather not be in, but the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Thank you for helping me. Thank you. I thank you. Oh, man. So you can move the dick? Exactly. The dick can be moved. So you can just, yeah. I mean, it's a little hard to see on this. It doesn't really, yeah, you can see it. See? I'm wiggling him about, but his style stays the same. So you can adjust the midsection of the body accordingly. So we're just gonna pose him so that he's like, oh my goodness, oh jeez, oh man, I'm awkward Spider-Man. I didn't mean to rhyme that. Oh jeez, oh man, here's the man, here he comes, it's awkward Spider-Man. You may need to move the camera now that there are two characters in it, but that's okay. That's just how it goes. But yeah, you can see that we've posed Spider-Man a lot faster with the help of the rig. Now, one thing that you'll notice is we can't work with like extra bones on the character's body like we can with the FK rig. Like see here, this isn't well, it's usually in unknown, but for heavy he's different, I guess. But we can, in unknown, there are usually bones like accessories to clothing, like the bandolier, or like flaps on clothes, or pouches like this one. If we want to move a pouch around, we can move it. It's located in the unknowns. But on Spider-Man, you would think that his like web shooters or the like spider legs, they would be movable, but we don't see them on we don't see them anywhere. There is no unknown. I believe there is. I've never used this model, but I believe there is. But how do we find it? Click on this thing with the gear in it. You see this thing here that says show hidden controls that is unchecked? We're gonna click on it. Ah, there are unknowns. Okay, so it doesn't move the alright, okay, alright. I don't even know what this is. Thank you for making me look like a fucking... Thanks, good. I'm so happy that I look the fool in front of all my students. Thank you, Spider-Man, you big piece of shit. You fucking... God, I hate you. God damn it, Spider-Man. Anyway. But yeah, you can also see that the body, all these bones are here, but they also have these things on them. These are the constraints. If just a quick heads up, if at any point you want to work, like, if you're like, I like how everything is working here, but I wish I had more control over the arms. I wish I wasn't, they weren't tethered like this. I wish this wasn't happening. Or like, God, the elbow and the shoulders and everything, they're giving me a real problem. They're giving me some real sass, I gotta say. Well, what you can do is you can go to arms, and you can highlight all these constraints here, right? You see how all these are slid up? These are, this is basically telling you that these are in full control of the bones. These constraints have full control over the bones that they are connected to. If you slide them out, you're starting to see it. Control will be given back to the skeleton as the FK rig as opposed to the IK rig. And then you can move the bones again, just how they always were, or how they were before. I'd also like to thank you all for your generosity and your bits that you are donating. If you, your bits really help out the stream. All of your bits, your donations, your subs, all those really help me out. They help me create more content and videos and stuff. You can only do that if you're on YouTube. I don't know if, or if you're on Twitch. I don't know if you're on YouTube. If you're on YouTube and you're also trying to support me with like whatever the hell they have on there, I don't know. I haven't been looking at the YouTube chat. If you're trying to chat at me and you're on YouTube, I'm not looking at that because that's too much. That is too much for me to keep track of. So if you'd like to chat and talk and ask questions, please come to the Twitch chat. We would love to have you. Any dang way. Right. So I want there to be. I want the rigs to be on it, so I'm going to slide this all up. And also to show you, you can see that as I slide these back up, it is going back into the pose that I had it in. It's gonna do that every time. You can also see if I try and move the bones themselves, it does nothing. So anyway, let's just finish posing up old Tiger. Add a bit more fear to this pose. Let me just like. Over here. Thank you, Miss Kin. That's very thoughtful of you. Thank you for the 10,100 bits. So once again, let's try and pose these fingers. These fingers look really bad, but you know, whatevs. We'll just put these back together. Just put this man. I actually kind of want his hands being like, oh God, please don't hit me, Mr. Large Man. Oh God. Oh God, my body. My body really hurts. Oh Jesus. Oh Jesus, crunchy Christ. Oh, I'm a shit a brick, dude. That's how Spider-Man talks, right? In these Marvel movies. I walked out of Homecoming because I was done with it. I did not give a shit, but I'm pretty sure he talks like that. He's like, oh jeez, Mac. Oh boy, oh Jesus, crunchy Christ. Oh, I actually kind of want him to like, kind of more like, I want him to look at him, but also not look at him, you know? Like if let's enlarge this a bit. You can also work in the camera if you like. Sometimes it's better to work from the active camera, because it's just like, you know. You're just like, I don't need to look at this from the work angle. I need to look at this from the actual angle. In fact, let's move the camera down into the better position. In fact, actually, now I think about it, it might be better if we just do it from here. Wow, look at that angle. See, this is what I was talking about. Let's push it a bit further than it was before. A bit more of a, see, when you let's look at these angles side by side. Like this, just flat looking at it. This adds a dynamic change to it. See, now we're at the position of Spider-Man on the ground looking up at Heavy. Looking up at a character makes him look more intimidating, makes him look more powerful, makes him look more strong. In opposition, like here, looking down on a character makes them look weak. It makes them look helpless. It makes them look like they're at the lowest point in their lives. Like, right? See the differences in these two angles. At the same time, we are seeing Heavy and Spider-Man in the same light. Both are effective, and I could have used either one of them, but I think this kind of, I like shots that look up at things. I just like them. Maybe I wish to be strong like Heavy. Maybe I wish I was a half-eaten weapons man. One day, I'm gonna get revenge on all of my enemies. Anyway, yeah, this angle, much better. Much better. We will have to change some things, but with the camera settings, but yes, this is much better. I can't get these arms right. Like, I want to make it so that he's like really just like, Mr. Stark, help me. I'm sad. I am sad and weak. My skinny arms cannot bear the weight. No. Mr. Stark, help me. Help me. I don't know how to fight anymore. I know how to do cool flips. Wait. Anyway. Yeah, so there we go. We've gotten a model into here that was not here using the workshop. Now, what about from, say, here? Or here? Or here? Or like, whatever. You know, if we wanted one of these models that's on the workshop. So, I'm going to take the TF Civilian as an example, right? I've already downloaded it. Right here. You are probably going to need, if you're going to be downloading these things, you are probably going to need a thing that opens zip files. Also, I forgot to mention, but another place you can go to get assets is the Garry's Mod website. Garry'sMod.org. Anything that runs in Garry's Mod can pretty much run in Source Filmmaker. Actually, it can, because they both run in Source. However, some of the ways that you will have to mess around with file paths in some of them won't show up in SFM because they are rooted differently. A lot of this will happen for, yeah, you can find a lot of stuff here. Like, Tier 2 maps, the Team Fortress Classic models, hexed items, like mods items, these tractors, there's a lot of shit. A lot of them, even some items are like, people make items and they don't get in the game and so they give it to them, or stuff like, just weird items, like a helmet for Heavy. Cool. Anyway, but yeah, if you have a zip file thing, you can just like open it, and every one of these will be sorted like this. There is 2 folders, models and materials. In the models is all of the models. In materials, there are all the material files. We will go into these a bit more in depth, or rather, we will only go into materials because I only know materials and I know nothing about models. Please don't get mad at me. We'll go into them more in depth later. What you're going to do is you're going to open up the Finder thing and you're going to go to... Hold on, let me hold your hand through this. You're going to go to Local Disk. You are going to go to Program Files. You are going to go to Steam. You are going to go to Steam Apps. You're going to go to Common, then Source Filmmaker, Game, and here is your directory for all of your Source Filmmaker stuff. I have lots of things. I have made different folders for it. I will show you how to make different folders for your content so you can sort all your content very easily later, but for right now, we are going to take the Models and Materials folder and we are going to put them into User Mod by clicking, dragging, placing into User Mod. It will then merge it into the Models and Materials folders in User Mod. Let's go back. Create animation set for new model. We have to rescan to find the new model. We're going to look up Civilian, and here it is. The Civilian Man. Look at him. God, he's ugly. Who invited you? Who thought this was okay for you to be here? You're made out of Play-Doh, you fucking... Anyway, let's pose Civilian Man. How should we have him, I guess? Rigs very much help for when you are having two characters interact with each other, because you can do things like this. Now would be a good time to show you how locks work. What we're gonna do is we're gonna have him hanging off of Heavy's arm, being like, "Please, Heavy, don't do this. Spider-Man is worth millions. He's a very well-respected character in the Marvel franchise. Don't do it. Oh, Heavy. Heavy, no. Heavy." Or we can just kind of make him rap. Let's make him rap instead, but I'll show you how locks work. Okay, so let's say well, I could show you how locks work with a different thing. Yeah, I'll do that. That's probably an easier way of showing you how it works anyway. I mean, fuck it, I'll just show you. Did the music stop? Are my jams up? No, they're not. Anyway, so we have his hands together, right? Let's make it so that he has his hands, like, together, like he's like, "Oh, please, Heavy, do not murder the Spider-Man. He is but a wee boy, and he smells really good. I love you, Spider-Man. Give me your Aunt May's rice recipe for rice." I'm not really gonna do like a great job of putting his hands together, because these fingers. Ugh. Ugh. Oh. Oh. Alright. Okay. So now his hands are together, right? But what if we want to move them? If I move his right hand, then I'd have to move his left hand into position to match it, right? Not necessarily. Here's what you do. Take the control for rig hand R. Click and hold. Bring it down to rig hand L. Release. You have locked it. You can't see it, but you have locked it to rig it. You have locked these two together. You can't. It shows that it's locked, but it doesn't show what it's locked to. Anyway, now if I move rig hand R, it will move both of them. If I rotate it, it applies all the information to both sets, to both things. Now, obviously, if I were to put this with the Heavy, now I don't even have to touch, really, so I can show you this too. If I were to attach, say, his bip hand L to bip hand R, I've actually never seen this happen, and I'm loving it. I'm loving what's happening here. I am so happy that this is what I do for a living.
Fuck you, Spider-Man. Fucking Infinity War sucked ass. I want my $12 back. Fucking fuck you, you stupid bastard. Bonk, 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 bonk. Fuck you, Spider-Man.
No, so obviously, I mean, if you want to do that, you can, but it works better if it's on a rig. And it doesn't even have to be hands to hands. You can lock his left hand to his head.
Spider-Man! Spider-Man! I come for you, Spider-Man! You will know my vengeance! Bonk, bonk, bonk. I will feed on your scalp, Spider-Man!
You could even lock the civilian's spine to Spider-Man's. Oh wait, I still have hidden controls on. You could lock his leg to the civilian's spine if you wanted. Whoa. 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 It's like a snake charmer. Anyway, yeah, and you can unlock it, and it'll just go up. Wrong lock. You can unlock it, and it'll just go back to not being controlled. What you can also do, if you so desire, is you can lock a thing just in place. If we take Heavy's head and we click if we just click the box where the lock goes. And let's say we moved Heavy somewhere. His head will stay in place no matter what we do.
Fuck you, Spider-Man. I'm going to the bathroom and then I'm gonna shit on your head. But I'm watching you. Forgot my keys.
You know, something like that. So yeah, that's locks. Thought I could show you something while I pose this third man. So let's just space out his legs a bit so that they're not just like right next to each other. Move his pelvis and give him a little fatty look. And now we can look at a face that isn't hardware morphed. I believe he's not hardware morphed. Yes. Alright. So, very limited amount of controls as compared to Heavy. Because all of these is compared to just this. Just... I believe he might be like other models. A lot of times with some non-hardware morph models, the facial controls, yes, they are all in the unknown bones. I don't know why. I guess it's organization or something. I don't know. But they're all in unknown. And they aren't like two-sided sliders either. They're just like for one thing. You can't even like do a left and right thing. They're just all one big list of... Like, I don't know left and right for raise eyebrow right. It's just all one thing. So, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, so that's where his controls are, and they're not as good, but they will work. It's extortion, you see. That's what's happening right now. But now we have a poster. We have 3 characters interacting. Heavy, though, I want to put something on Heavy. I want to put a hat on Heavy Weapons Man. How the fuck? There are 2 ways to do this. One is the easiest. You can right click on Heavy and you can go down to Add Team Fortress Item. This will bring up this window that has basically every item that is compatible with Heavy. All of them. You can search through them, or you can just scroll down and look at every single fucking one of them. I'll say ETF2 medals. Like, for instance, if we want to put sunglasses on, we'd go to gray bands, we click OK. Bam! It equips it to him. Let's say we want to put on the Krunkidile disaster. There we go. And now let's say we want to put him in. What's a new item? What's a new item that came out? Is it potassium bonnet? Huh. Potassium bonnet isn't here. But I have updated my Team Fortress 2. Huh. I wonder why it's not here. It is because this is an older version of Team Fortress 2. Sourceful Maker does not update at the same time as Team Fortress 2 does on your computer. You have to wait until whenever the Sourceful Maker team decides, okay, we're going to update it with all the new TF2 content before that happens, and that's probably not gonna happen anytime soon. I'm sorry. But there's a different way. You can click on create animation set for a new model, and we can search up potassium, and there's a potassium bonnet. You can also find some of these on the SFM workshop, but yeah, whatever. Anyway, we want to find, there's one for every single class. You want to find the one that says heavy at the end. Any item that is multi-class, you're probably going to look for at the end, and you'll find the character that coincides with at the end. The reason for this is because every character has a different shaped head and a different position that their head is at. So if I were to say take the Scout's potassium bonnet and I tried to put on the heavy, oh wait, let me do it the other way. Hold on, wait. Let me get the heavies one. Make this invisible really quick. Here's how you will equip a hat to a character. The easiest way is to click on the entire thing for the animation set, drag it down to the hat you want to put on, and release. By doing this, you lock every single bone that shares the same name with the hat to the model you just dragged down. Sometimes when you do this, it has bones that don't share names. To make sure that you don't ruin something by doing the next step on something that it doesn't share, open all of the things and make sure that it has linked up. Usually this is in unknown or other on the thing, and that's usually like a thing that only the hat has, like if it has a part on it that moves around or something. Anyway, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna click on the hat, you're going to go up to the top here to 0, you're gonna click and slide it in. And it will instantly zero into where the thing is supposed to go. I just realized that maybe like a lot of you make sure that you're in this green thing again for all of this stuff. If you can't change anything within the thing unless you're in the motion editor. Here you can't do anything to it. You can only do operations to the timeline. And here this is for animation, so don't worry about this just yet. Let me refresh something really quick because I don't know if my chat is broken or not. Very possible it was, but anyway. Yeah, no, it was. My chat was frozen. Anyway, yeah, we'll just put heavy in a banana hat. Why not? I don't give a shit. Chat's functional will simply quiet boys. Okay, so I'm not interested. Good. No, that's fine. You guys are great. But let's put. I want to put a ring on him, so we'll look up something special for someone special. Just for funsies. Now, when you're looking up hats in the model viewer, you can't just like look up the name of the hat, because a lot of times the name of the hat in the game is not the same as the model name for the hat. This only looks up things by the model name. For instance, if we look up, like, I don't know, fast learn. learner, we can't find it. It's not there. Even if we look up like fast learner, all one word, nope. Fast, well, you can obviously see it's not there. Sometimes things are separated by underscores. They are not. This is not. But if you look up, it would be called PRP. Wait, I think it's called Scout underscore prep shirt. Yeah, the fast learner is called the Scout prep shirt as a model. Sometimes you can just look through every single thing that a class has by looking up, say, Scout, and then hitting backslash, because everything is in a everything for its that class is in a folder called Scout. So you're basically looking in every folder named Scout, and you can find all of his items. See, again, digit divulgers are not called the digit divulgers, they're called Scout gloves. A lot of times they're just called class thing. Scout gloves, heavy hat. Like every single one of the Gen 1 hats, like the first hats that came out, are all called like class underscore hat. Anyway.